Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Murray Hill Club Special Release Batch 4. Dustin. Nancy Fraley, I'm guessing here?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, comes in at 55.5% ABV. My vision continues to fail me. Dustin, we've done plenty of cigar blends, but this is the first time we brought one of these.
I don't think we've even done the regular Murray Hill, which
I agree.
Maybe an oversight.
Yeah, we should probably get to that. Tell us a little bit about this whiskey, my friend.
So the Murray Hill traditionally is a mixture of bourbon and light whiskey. My understanding traditionally is it's started off pretty high on the light whiskey, and Nancy very quickly nixed that and made it to be mostly bourbon. This one, I don't recall the exact maturations, but we are talking about 18-plus-year-old bourbon with a little bit of younger, maybe 12-year-old, and I'm guessing some light whiskey in that age range. And then, Mike, so the first two special releases, Nancy finished in a white wine cask. That was some kind of dessert wine, I can't remember, which we never even got to one of those. We might have to go back. But this one and batch 3 were finished in Calvados, which is apple brandy. So
Interesting.
Yeah, very different, very unique.
All right, Dustin, let's get to it.
In classic Joseph Magnus, Nancy Fraley style, it is complex with a focus on earthiness and density. She very rarely goes with like that super sweet bourbon style. It's always more rich, complex, dirty.
As someone who isn't a sweet lover, as a mainly Scotch fan, I've always appreciated that about these style whiskeys, the cigar blends and everything.
And she comes from that cognac world. I mean, so going for that more cigar notes.
Yeah, this one feels so much denser, richer, and darker than those other ones. I mean, it's been a while since I had one, but
yeah, the earthiness is very apparent. I do get that apple brandy, but the one thing I've noticed with when they use Calvados is some of them taste like somehow you just tried to put apples into your whiskey. This has that nice, dirty, cigar smoking brandy note, and I'm getting a ton of tobacco leaf on here.
Yeah, I was going to say the first note that comes up, really more than even overall sweetness, is just tobacco leaf here.
Yeah.
This to me almost feels like more cigar blend than cigar blend with just that note.
And what's funny, Mike, is the first time I had this, that was exactly what I thought was. If cigar blend is something to pair with a cigar, this is meant to taste like you had a cigar.
Yeah.
Like for a cigar lover, like this is a cigar replacement.
We did another whiskey that was supposed to smell like bookshelves. I can't remember. I think it was a
Bellicor.
Yeah, Bellicor. Then we had another whiskey right after from that same independent bottler. I was like, this smells more like bookshelves than that does. As far as cigar blend, like this is more what I would think cigar blend, just from a marketing standpoint, would smell like rather than the normal cigar blend.
Yeah, this really is heavy tobacco.
Heavy tobacco. Mint. There is sweetness, but that sweetness is like mint and it's dirty sweetness.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm getting a little bit of that apple. I'm getting layers of, there's a sweetness here, but it's almost like, usually with bourbon, you're like, oh, it's clearly vanilla and it's clearly caramel. I'm sure those are both here, but I'm not jumping out and saying, oh, that's what it is. I'm getting fall leaves.
There's damp wood to this almost too.
I'm getting fresh clay, like earth notes that are sweet smelling. Fresh, waters come over it.
It's sweetening up. There is a burnt caramel note to this, in my opinion.
But I definitely get mint. Again, I'm guessing there's a high rye, maybe an MGP, bourbon in here.
Yeah, probably a decent amount of rye in this. Oh man, I prefer this. Maybe it's just the night, but I can't remember a cigar blend tasting better. We had a few cigar blends.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some cigar blends I like as much as this, maybe more. Yeah, I have to go back.
You're the expert.
I got a new cigar blend very recently that does not compete with this. It's however pretty good.
I love tobacco notes in whiskey.
I can't think of a whiskey I've had more tobacco on.
A bourbon, maybe. Or, excuse me, American whiskey, let me say that.
I can't think of a whiskey I've had more tobacco. This is like tobacco. Again, this smells like a fresh cut cigar. I've had notes where it's fresh tobacco, it's out in the field, or it's just moved into the barn. We've had some that's dry tobacco. This is a cigar tobacco. It's been rolled, it's been in the humidor, it's ready.
Beautiful. I have a buddy who lives in Texas. He has one of 4 mobile humidors in Texas. 4 or 6, I can't remember what it was. And he came to see me when I was out there last time in Dallas, and that thing smelled like heaven rolling up.
Oh, my bad.
Good. I mean, it's all vacuum sealed, so we had you to go into the back, like, 'cause you could walk in the back door. Like, it was incredible in that back of that thing. Kind of like this.
Yeah, good effort. Yeah, I'm doing Keith's thing where he kind of breathes into the glass and then breathes it out. And yeah, I mean, you're getting a nice little bit of, again, it's like kind of got a little tobacco note going.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice.
A little cinnamon.
You know what? There is spice to this. I'm overlooking it.
Nutmeg. Cardamom.
A lot of spice. A lot of baking spice.
Yeah. Allspice, just to be generic, but I mean, you can't really deny it's here.
Ah, buddy, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving with cigar.
A little bit of peanut.
Shell, maybe.
Dried peanut, like, yeah, powder.
Five Guys shell.
It's not peanut butter, it's shell.
Going in.
Oh, man. You need a little bit of almond. Yeah, a little almond extract. Ooh, there's another sweetness in here I'm trying to pick out. We'll see what happens when the water gets added here. We'll see if we get to it.
Char, tobacco, at the end, caramel sweetness. Caramel sweetness swelling now. Caramel sweetness and chocolate swelling now. Initially is what it smelled like, but then afterwards, nope, bourbon. Bourbon-esque.
Yeah, rye bourbon notes on the finish for sure.
And then you're right here at the end, a little bit of a rye note. Minty rye at the end.
Yeah, that rye note actually reminds me a little bit of those chewy sprees or sweet tarts. That always gave me a little bit of a funky, almost like sweet tomato kind of thing.
Non-hard, the chewable ones.
Yeah, the chewy, nothing like the hard ones. Gives me a little bit of that note, which is not a favorable note for me, but it kind of works in this one. You're right about the char and smoke up front, tobacco. Heck yeah.
Well, up front is recognizable. On the finish, though, nice and candied.
Yeah. Cinnamon notes are beautiful here. Again, the apple brandy clearly is coming through.
Yeah, oh, yes. And now I do get a little bit of spiced apple.
And I was going to say, it's a spicy apple. I don't know if it's like apple cider or maybe some kind
It's
of...
artificial type apple. I know that's not a thing, but...
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I've always disliked about Calvados. So I've got a Compass box that we haven't brought through the team yet. And it's not a Scotch, actually. Because they actually use Calvados in the blend.
Okay.
And that's why I've been a little shaky on bringing it, because we're a whiskey review channel and it's not whiskey. But yeah, we'll get to it. And this avoids all those issues because it's not over the top. The Calvados was really well done here. It added a nice flavor, but it also gave us some brandy. I don't know what kind of casks Nancy chose here, but they were good. And they were aged. They were not young casks. And that played all the magic here.
You sure Nancy did this?
I've not heard from anybody. I've not heard from her saying she did it, but I can't imagine somebody else did Murray Hill.
This might be one of my favorite releases she's ever made. I'll say it right now.
I was a little shaky when I first cracked it, but as it's opened up, and I poured 2 samples of this, and then I've let the rest of it come down from just sipping it. I'm loving it more and more every pour.
It's more my profile. Yeah, I love that upfront tobacco char heavy note.
I think I do like the batch 2, which I'll get to you at some point, but you're not going to like that as much because it's sweeter. Because that white wine's desserty, and this Calvados is not desserty. It's adding more leather and tobacco.
Yeah. As I've always told you, Dustin, I'm sweet enough.
You are not sweet at all. I've talked to your wife. Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Now, with water, more of the caramel's coming up, but it's just still a nice balance. It's still giving me everything I need, tobacco and dirty-wise and char-wise, to really enjoy this whiskey at a super high level.
I'm getting more of the apple, but again, it's like it's not...
It's a weird apple.
It's baked apple. That's what it is. It's baked apples. Like the baked apples, a little bit of cinnamon in them.
Yeah, sure. Apple pie. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm just thinking of just straight baked apples, no pie crust here. Because, again, this thing is not sweet enough to be apple pie. There's no crust here. There's none of that sweetness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this is probably going to be a little off-putting to your classic bourbon drinker who doesn't adventure out. But for your whiskey drinker, The person who loves bourbon, loves Scotch, loves Irish, loves everything. This is freaking delicious.
Yeah, if you like aggressive cask strength whiskey in general, there's something here you're going to gravitate to.
You just can't be a dessert head. That's the only group that's not going to be.
Gotta like ABV.
Yeah, ABV, and you can't be a dessert head. This is just yummy.
It smells like a whiskey you should be enjoying right now, Dustin. We're on 4th of July weekend here in America. Tastes like America. A little burnt, but sweet.
This is going to be a great fall whiskey.
Sit
out on your porch.
I agree.
Watch the leaves fall.
I agree.
In fact, actually, the place I just moved into, I've got like it's kind of slightly below ground little patio porch area, and I've got all these trees out in front of me. I am absolutely going to go out there and pour this while the leaves are falling. It's going to be blissful.
Sounds good, man. You deserve it.
Look at those freaking legs, too, man. Beautiful.
All right, Dustin. Whiskey score time. Your whiskey. I'll go first.
Yep.
I'm just thinking about it now. Okay, so overall whiskey score, I'm between two numbers. I think whiskey score, it's actually an 88, but I'm going to give it an 89 because I like these flavors more. So for me, it's absolutely an 89, but it's profile based. I think probably its overall whiskey score is an 88, but I'm an 89 out of 100, which for a non-Scotch whiskey, that's very good. Thoughts?
Yeah. Because it's Nancy and because it's got all the stats, I want to give it a 90, but I am right there with you. I do think some of the cigar blends have hit a little higher. They've hit an exceptional note, and we'll have to talk about that in the future. Maybe we'll do a cigar blend shootout or something. But this, it's excellent. But I still kind of come back to, does it hit any high notes that are high enough for me to go 90? And I don't think it does. I love the cigar notes. I love the smokiness. Beautiful whiskey, but it's really good. These are about 240, which I think is
About right for an 89.
about right for what it is. I think if they asked for more than 260, I think I'm actually walking away. I'm now having had it. I wouldn't buy a backup at 240, but I'm very happy I got it. Very, very happy about this whiskey, and definitely looking forward to hearing a few people, others out there. If he doesn't get one, I'm going to see if I can get some of this to Mash and Drum so he can do a review.
Yeah, so I'll say this. 2 to 250, that sounds about right in this climate, 2024, for this casting style.
To be honest, in this climate, given that there's 18-plus-year-old whiskey here, it might honestly be $300 whiskey. I just won't pay it.
But it's worth it, is my point.
Yeah, in today's market, again, what I'm saying is in today's market, this actually might be worth $300. I just refuse to acknowledge this market because I think this market's gone crazy.
You're hanging up the wrong things. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. Well done job by our friend Nancy. One of my favorite bottlings, at least the ones that I've tried. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy, smoky tobacco drinking.
See you next time.